10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, good afternoon, and welcome to one more episode of Lunch with Faride. I have a very special show today, so I hope you are tuning in, joining us, because if you ever wanted to learn how to play pool, I got the right person to teach you. So don't go away, get your questions lined up. Tell us where you're joining us from, because very soon we'll have Frank Alvarez teaching us how to play pool. So stay tuned.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way. I'm all the way.
Well, here he is.
Hi,
I'm not gonna let you wait any longer. So this is Frank. Thank you, Frank, for being here today.
Thank you for having me. And hello, everyone.
Thank you to him, because he's allowing us to come to his space. We are actually filming remote today, all the way from Boise, Idaho. So thank you for that.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for being a part of this, sir.
I had to almost twist his arm, just so you know, so he can let us do this here at his space. But anyway, so our audience always wants to learn things, Frank. So I wanted to bring you on here because I know you have a phenomenal league where you teach people how to play pool. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, we have, for people that enjoy playing pool and they like going out every week, maybe you've been a part of a softball league or a volleyball league. Well, there's pool leagues out there. And so instead of just going to a bar and playing pool, you can actually be a part of a national system and be a part of a team and receive a ranking and then play towards a national event. And so we created a program that actually teaches amateurs ultimately how to play by the rules of a professional.
Well, That sounds exciting. And so, okay, so let's say I'm interested in playing pool, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, well, it's for the amateurs, it's actually handicapped on a scale of 1 to 10, right? So a 1 would be someone you just handed a pool cue to, they don't even know how to hold it properly. And then when they play somebody of a higher rating, they only have to win, let's say, 1 game versus the other individual having to win 8 games or 6 games. So you can even get lucky and just win. You don't have to be good. And we actually have a system where you log online and you can see how well you do on the pool table. So it measures it, and it kind of lets you know what you need to do to become a 2 or a 3 or a 4 and so on.
Oh, that sounds good. Well, you know that I'm in California. So if somebody wanted to do this with you, are you just in Idaho, or where are you?
No, we're in approximately 16 states. We are in California. However, the bars have not opened up yet since the COVID thing. So the leagues haven't started up yet. We're waiting for our reps to get started again. But yes, you can see on our website, upatour.com, you can just go to find a league and you'll find our California reps there. Got
it. So you just gave us a website, and I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. Is that upatour.com?
Yeah, upatour.com.
Okay, awesome. So you guys, go check it out. It's phenomenal. I have been watching some of the videos. I'm excited. Are you going to be teaching me how to play pool?
Well, when we have around a pool table, absolutely.
I promise you guys that I will learn, and we are going to go into competition. But hey, I also know that you have this phenomenal event coming up. But before we talk about your event, I want to know, how did you get started in pool?
Well, very early on, when my parents met one another, and I was 5 years old and my brother was 4 years old, they used to go down to the bar and have a drink. And back in those days, they would take us along and they'd give us quarters and we would just roll the balls in the table, right? And this was back in the 70s, right?
You just gave up your age.
Yeah,
Frank.
exactly. So I just always had the ability. I learned the ability to shoot straight. I really didn't know much other than that. But after Bible college, I actually witnessed one of the largest pro events in the nation in Las Vegas. And I was challenged. Someone said, "Oh, you could never be a part of that." And it just it challenged me. And I said, "Okay, well, I'll do it within 3 years." And I
wait. Somebody challenged you to play?
Yeah. So I was watching about 7,000 amateur players.
Okay.
And then I went upstairs and watched 64 of the best players in the world. And I asked a world champion that was playing pool, I said, "How do you become, out of the 7,000 of which I'm not even, right? How do you get up to the 64? And she said, "Oh, you could never do it."
Oh, you cannot tell that to a champion.
Yeah. And I don't think she was being personal, but she was just saying in general, it's something people can't do. And it was really like someone hit me or just kicked me in the chest. And I went to my father and I said, "Hey, it was good to see you." And I told myself I'd do it within 3 years' time. And so I actually went home, got rid of my furniture, went and bought a pool table, a tournament edition pool table, found out what cloth the pros were playing on. And then I just started watching videos. I started teaching myself, right? And then I would practice all day and then I'd go play at night. And then soon after that, I beat the state champion. And within a year, I beat the state champion. And then I started competing. Our organization began in 2002.
Okay.
So my first pro event was in August. It was this association's first pro event. And I started competing from there. And that was about 2 years in. And then within the first year on tour, I was ranked number 32 in the US, and I was invited to that event.
Wow, that is such an amazing story. You can never, ever, ever tell a true champion that he can do something.
Yeah. So I accomplished it within 3 years' time.
Wow.
I was competing at the event that the individual said I could never play.
That's awesome. Did you ever see the lady?
I did. I actually did. And I never mentioned anything. It was just kind of an unspoken, item between us two. And I'm not one to rub it in their face. But I was there ever since.
Wow. So then after that, obviously you continue to compete or you continue to play?
Yeah. So for about 6-7 years, about a good 5 years, I lived out of a suitcase. I traveled the country, didn't even have a car after a while because having a car was just a burden. I would go to a state, play in a tournament, and then we'd turn right around and play in another tournament, which was very interesting. It was an interesting lifestyle. You're kind of a vagabond. In the billiard industry, you didn't become a millionaire, you became a thousandaire, And so there's just not a lot of money that in the prize fund, like, for NBA or whatever the case is. So in time, the president of the association was stepping down and the second president was stepping up, and he says, "Hey, you're there at all the events, the players, the rules. It's kind of like when you walk in the room, people think the UPA just walked in the room, right?" And that's our acronym for our association, UPA. And so he says, "I need you to be our rep." And so I started getting paid now to be the rep and to compete. So it was kind of a win for me, right?
Right.
And then after that, in 2008, the housing market crashed, right? And the sponsorship started leaving the industry like crazy. And so the president was stepping down and he says, "Hey, our organization is done. Turn off the lights." And I said, "Well, why don't you have the board vote me in as president and I'll try what ideas I've created over the years
Right.
to continue this thing. And I'll never forget it. He called me up while I was doing an exhibition in Vegas, and he says, "Congratulations, you're the president of the United States Professional Pool Players Association." He goes, "That's the good news. The bad news is you're completely bankrupt."
Oh boy,
Yeah,
what news
yeah.
to get all
So-
in one shot.
Yeah. So I thought about it for days and days, and I thought, okay, well, how to create a business model and whatnot, and I decided to tie in the amateurs with the pros,
Okay.
right? Because there was, there's the industry numbers. There's about 58 million recreational pool players in the U.S.
58 million.
58 million. Those are people who once or twice a month go and play pool at a bar. That's just
Okay.
recreational, right? And then from there, dedicated players, somebody who owns a pool table, somebody who plays in a league, somebody who owns a stick, you're looking at about 20 million, right?
Wow.
And then further down, those committed to a league, you approximately, when you take all the leagues and you put them together, about 1 million players in the
Wow.
US. Yeah. So I basically started an organization, or I'm sorry, started an amateur league program for our organization. And the idea is in the future, be able to produce professional events. And the way you get them is through our amateur league. So
Okay.
that's,
And is that website that you gave us earlier?
yeah, upatour.com. You would look and find a league to play in locally. Or if somebody was actually even interested in starting a league, they could become a rep and license with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they can even do it almost like a little franchise or
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
They become a licensee and they can actually make money from running pool leagues.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So whoever likes pool, you all know you can make a little bit of money too. Now, how does somebody like me who has zero experience in playing pool, what will be a tip that you can give somebody like me to start off?
Well, the first tip would be don't tell yourself you can't do it,
Okay, I'll take that.
because that's the first thing that I had learned when someone said I couldn't, right?
Right.
It's like, look, you can. It's just a matter of what do you want to do? Do you want to do it for fun? Do you want to do it professionally? You can do it. And so obviously you need to be around a pool table. And you
Okay.
can borrow a cue from off the wall of whatever venue you're at. But as you start getting more dedicated, you'll get your own equipment, because your brain learns the cue that you have. And if you keep switching cues, you're kind of messing with your brain, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
okay.
if you go and get a dedicated cue, then your brain is always doing and working with the same thing over and over again. And pool is funny because it's physics, but you can't measure how hard you have to hit a ball. It's a feel thing, right? So cues have certain weight and certain tips and that kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's some great tips.
Yeah.
I didn't know all of
Yeah.
that.
So what you would do if you wanted to is I would go and purchase just a $60 cue. Just find out what you like. What weight do you like?
Okay.
What don't you like? Before you get into the 100, 200, they can go all the way up to, thousands of dollars.
So what makes them go from one price to another?
The wood, right?
Okay.
The wood, the decoration on there,
Mhm.
there's painted decoration on there versus inlay, where they're literally taking, ivory or whatever the case is, and they're inlaying inside the wood.
Okay.
How much time is spent on a cue? Is it built by a cue maker or a machine that's just pumping cues out?
Got
right?
it. Okay.
The type of wood.
Kind of like a bat for baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, today we were supposed to bring you kind of like a little game. He was going to teach me and then we were going to play. But recently you underwent something tremendous in your life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so it prevented us from playing, but he's going to owe it to us to teach us on a table once he heals. But what just happened to you in your life?
Well, basically, I got sick. I believe it was food poisoning, right? They're still determining what it was, but it was food poisoning. And I fast quite a bit. So I just kind of went home and fasted. But for the next 4 days, I didn't realize this, but my heart went into what's called tachycardia, where the rhythm was over 220 beats a minute. And I didn't know that, right? I mean, I was just feeling dizzy and sick or whatever the case is. But I put up with that for 4 days. And then when I went into the hospital, the emergency room, they were like, we don't understand how you're talking to us right now.
Wow.
And while I was still conscious, they hit me with the defibrillator, the whole electric shocker to shock my heart back while I was conscious.
And what happened? Did you faint right there?
Well, the best way I can explain that, honestly, is if you were to put my torso or your torso in a washing machine, you were just completely, I was conscious. And what's crazy is that while I was conscious, I thought 3 thoughts. 1, I bet you they don't know I can feel this. Right?
Right.
2 was I am out of control. I can't feel where my hand is. I can't feel where my, it was just surreal. Right. And then 3rd was, well, I just must be in God's hands. Right. Because I'm done. Right. So after that, they actually woke me up, and it was funny. They were calling my name, and I open up my eyes and they say, if you can hear us, blink. Right?
And did you start talking?
No. And so what's funny is that I don't even know how I opened up my eyes. Okay. I couldn't blink. And they were like, blink. And I guess they assumed I can blink because I opened my eyes.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm going, what makes you think I can blink right now? So about 7 to 10 minutes after that, I died.
Wow.
Everything shut down. My kidney shut down. My lungs stopped. My heart stopped. My liver shut down. And then they went into emergency mode, and they brought me back. And I woke up. The people that dropped me off at the hospital, they called them up and said, you better come say goodbye.
Wow.
Because we don't think he's going to make it. After bringing me back.
Wow.
They were like, we don't think. I was on dialysis, everything, blood transfusion, you name it. So long story short, my heart was scarred, and that rhythm has come back. And so they actually put a defibrillator in me. In my body. Yeah.
We have one of the guests, one of the viewers, saying that he is like 1% of the world that happens to. That's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I just keep rolling with it, and I take it as I'm here for a reason. So.
Yeah, you sure are. And let's see what the viewers are saying. So that's really awesome. Mo, thank you for joining us today. And then Sonia is saying, my son is an excellent pool player and is pretty good. Would love info for him. So what does a mom do when their son, how old do they have to be to join one of your leagues?
We have no age limit, but the venue may have age requirements or age limits, right? So we have we're a family-friendly league, and that's one thing that's different about us, right? Because we're the United States Professional Pool Players Association, so we don't allow cursing, we don't allow people gambling, we don't allow any of that, right?
Oh, I'm out then.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding.
On the cursing.
On the cursing. No, just kidding.
No, so it's family friendly. And it's great because when everybody comes from around the nation to play, their kids there, and everybody knows, hey, you gotta be right around this. Because that's been one of the challenges for pool in the US is that they take place in bars. Well,
yes,
alcohol takes place in bars, a lot of things, whatever, negative connotation. So that's one of the things. In fact, people will immediately ask me, well, do you go into a bar and take people's money? It's just like a thing, right?
Oh, that's because usually that's
correct.
Where, okay.
Correct. And
I get it.
Yeah. I tell them, no, I don't gamble. I just go in and let somebody know how well I play, and
Well, thank you. Yes, he is in California. So you do go to that website that we will continue to post on here on the show, and you will know exactly where to go. She's promoting her son, saying he can do some amazing tricks. Well, guess what? When we bring him to California to teach me how to play pool, we'll have her son come down and get all of that. Now, Jorge says all successful people hit bottom at some point in their lives. That's, of course. Yeah. And then that the stick is so important.
Yeah. Your brain fine tunes with the instrument that you're using, basically.
Okay, we're getting invited to go use somebody's pool table. So we will be going to play at Sonia's house, and we might get a free lesson from one of the best. Something about marine mouth. What is this? Mo, what are you telling me? I have no idea what you're commenting on, so make sure that you rewrite that comment. But so here, in other words, Frank, I see you as a miracle. You just came back from did you experience anything?
No, people have asked me that question, and remember, I graduated from Bible college, right? So I'm kind of the person that doesn't need any convincing. So I don't need to go and see anything or anything. I've got the book, read the book, know how to get up and implement using the book. So for me, it's been very eye-opening in a lot of ways. I appreciate being around people more, whereas I kind of tend to be a monk,
Okay.
Because I've been so much out in the public, and it was like now just kind of drawing back, and it's just, I don't know, I've just rolled with it, and it's like, okay, well, what do I got to do now? In fact, it was pretty funny. In the hospital, they brought in a psychologist. They told me I should be suffering from PTSD.
Wow.
From being shocked, while I was conscious. They asked me, you got nightmares, PTSD? No, no, I'm good. Just keep moving, right? So.
Wow, what a miracle story, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring Frank here for you to listen, because we complain so much every day of what happens to us. And, we find the little things that make us unhappy when, in fact, there is so much going on in the world. We talk about it often, right?
Yeah,
Our world is a little messed up, or a lot messed up.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of the things immediately I challenged myself, right? And I challenged myself the moment I became conscious. The challenge to myself was, I'm not going to complain about anything. I'm not going to say, woe is me. I'm not going to say, oh God, why? It's just, okay, here I am. What do you do now? And I'd look out the window, the window in the room, and I'd see an elderly gentleman walking, and I thought, oh man, I can't wait to walk again. Right?
Aww.
And so just make a commitment and don't complain, because when you go into that mode, your brain just sees all the bad things, and then just stop and get control and be okay and just move on.
Champions talk.
Yeah.
For reals.
I will say this one thing, right? And that I can speak from experience on, and that is, dying was easy.
Okay, let's hear this. Dying is easy.
Living was the challenge.
Wow.
I went in, I was sick, they shocked me, I died. I come back, tubes everywhere, everything going on. We need to do this to you. We need to draw blood. You need to learn to walk again. There's the challenge. See?
Right. Wow.
So
that's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean,
now,
I've been there.
I have a question.
Okay.
You have a phenomenal event coming up here shortly.
Yes.
You're sick. Are you going to, because I heard that in this event, you actually get challenged.
Yes. So at the nationals, so basically what happens is the players play nationwide, and then they win qualifiers, and then they're introduced to our national event. Our national event typically takes place in Vegas, but with the shutdowns, we moved it to Florida, right?
Okay, and that is June 23rd.
June 23rd in Sanford, Florida.
Okay.
And you can
It's
see
on your screen,
correct.
guys.
And so the players, this is my chance to meet the players that are members that I've never had a chance to meet because the reps brought them on, right? And so I get to tell them how I developed the system and how it's there to teach them, and then I can help them. And yes, we do a challenge the president throughout the entire week, right? Where they'll put up $10 and they'll play me one game, and if they win, their name goes into a hat, and they win cash and prizes if their name's drawn from the hat. But I will be playing all week long for them, just trying to knock me out.
So if you want to challenge the president, this is your time, because he's a little sick. He probably won't be doing or playing as well as he usually does.
Yeah, so I haven't played. I literally have not played in about a year. I mean, I have not hit one ball in about a year. And then with this defibrillator and, healing and whatnot. So I'm challenged to go there to let them know, hey, you better play me early on, because you start letting me around the pool table, I'm just going to fast track. In fact,
warm up.
Yeah. In fact, I'm kind of taking it as a challenge to show them how fast you can get back on track.
Wow.
With playing. So
that's awesome. I can't wait to see it. Yeah. I hope, is this going to be where we can watch it if we can be in Florida?
Yeah, I think
we urge everybody to go.
Yeah, I think we have some live streaming that's going to be going on there. But yeah, it was kind of fast paced, switched from Vegas to Florida because of us being let known that Vegas wasn't an option, basically. So.
Well, awesome. Let's see some comments. We got a lot of comments coming in. Okay, so Mo was referring to the potty mouth.
Oh,
that's where he
right.
He was saying, like me, he's probably out because of his potty mouth. Okay. So let's see, Jorge, how about the balls are all constructed the same way, or a player brings its own?
Great question. No, the balls are not constructed the same way. Some of them can be a hard plastic, some of them are resin, and if some of them are made as one ball. And so that's the less expensive ones or the cheapest ones. That's typically what you find in a bar. That's why they're all scarred up and everything else, right? But the best balls are actually put together in pieces. The number is a core. One of our sponsors, Aramith, you could check out Aramith balls. They have high quality balls. But yeah, so that's a great question. The balls are not the same. They're
awesome.
They're tested for balance and making sure that they're all the same weight and that kind of thing. So
okay, good, because there was a piggyback of Jorge's question. Are you able to change the weight of a ball?
No. The weight of a ball, no. The weight of a cue, yes.
Okay.
So most likely, if a cue is a custom cue, the back end will unscrew and there'll be what's called a weight bolt. And then you can actually screw in a different weight bolt. And just so you guys know, the average weight of a pro cue on tour is about 19.5 ounces.
19.5 ounces.
Correct.
The average of who?
A professional.
Professional. Okay, yeah. So I'll be practicing with that one because, one day I will go challenge you at your...
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's... And it's funny because
he's laughing at me. Okay, he does not know this is a champion talking to a champion. So
yeah, future champion. I'll teach you how to beat me. I mean, it might take a while, but you know what I mean, I'll teach you. I'll give you.
I hope he's. Well, we're recording this, guys. Okay, so all right, let's see. So another question. Oh wait, somebody awesome. I am in Sanford,
Florida?
Yes, that's where he is. So there you
Oh.
go. You got a viewer from
Yeah, no,
Sanford,
that's
Florida.
awesome. I'd love to meet him at the event. You go to our website, and the name of the venue eludes me for a moment. It's on our website, but that's amazing.
Check
I'd
out
love
the
to-
website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Little did he know he was going to have viewers from over there.
yeah, that's
So,
pretty cool. I'd love to have him be in the challenge match and come watch what we do. That's great.
absolutely. And he says, dying is easy. Living is the challenge. So awesome. I can relate.
Yeah. Oh, really? They must have
There
a
you go.
story there.
Yeah. You guys need to meet. So make sure you go and say, hey, I was one of Faride's viewers on her show. You were on there, and I'm here to meet you. So
I definitely remember.
yes, definitely talk. And then we have one last question before we end our show, because we are coming to the end of it. And it says, what about the chalk? What does it do?
Okay, so you have leather tip hitting an acrylic ball or a resin ball, right? And what happens is you need some friction in there. So there needs to be a connection, and it doesn't just miscue and slide off. That chalk helps the leather grab the ball and move it and twist it, and because you are kind of twisting it. But that's what it is. So that's why you need the chalk. And I'll give you a tip right now. After every shot, you stop and you chalk. Every shot. That's one of the first things I teach
Okay,
people.
after every shot,
You chalk your
you're
cue.
supposed to, I've always thought that was like somebody just like, I'm just doing this to like make you wait. I even do it with style.
Oh my gosh. No, you want to hear something funny? The Filipinos will flip it in their hand.
Really?
Only the Filipinos. Pool in the Philippines is the #1 sport.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah,
Well, we got some Filipino friends, so you all can come down and we'll have some pool
Yeah.
party and send it to Frank while he heals. But you guys got to go check him out. Yeah. So absolutely. Can't wait to meet you. Yes. Go meet him. Here is his website one more time. Go follow him. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Do you have?
Yeah, our website will have all the information for Instagram, Facebook, and you can join our mailing list on there and reach out. And however I can help, I'll help.
Awesome. Well, any last thought, last message, last advice, last tip you would like to give our audience at the end of our show?
Well, whatever you choose to do, just make sure that you just keep going for it, and you just let go of the negativity.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for being on the
Thanks
show.
for having me.
So you owe me
Yes.
a pool
Lesson
live.
at that person's house. Yeah. Again.
Yes. And we're coming back to show you that lesson when he's ready and he's healthy and he's probably back in California.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next Monday for another episode on Lunch with Faride. Goodbye.
Bye.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way.